And imagine if you hated that part of your life and you had to do it every day, and it's not just Monday to Friday, it's evenings, it's weekends, bank holidays. Yeah? And then you get to a point where if you're lucky enough to have other people to do it, you can start to take a little bit more time off, but you can't go to sleep on it. Now I'm in a position, if I wanted to, I'm not going to, if I wanted to go travelling for 3 months, I could probably do it. I haven't told my wife that yet, but if I wanted to go and do it, I could do it, because the business is in good shape and I know that it would still keep ticking over, right? But when the business is young, you can't do that. You're on it 24/7. You're on the business, but you're also probably in the business too. Okay? So don't get into something that you don't enjoy. Make sure, because of the amount of time we spend on it, make sure that you enjoy what you do and that you're following your passion. Okay? There we go. I'm going to shut up in a minute. Does anybody have any questions?
I don't know.
Yes.
What's one piece of advice or quote that someone said to you that's you've always stuck with you?
The one piece of advice is actually something that my boss at the ITF, the International Tennis Federation, once said to me. He said, look, if you wanna be a bum, spend time with bums, right? If you want to be successful, spend time with successful people. And I think that's a very simple equation, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? The people around you shape who you are and what you become. Right? So if you spend your time with idiots, that's why when you're a parent, you worry about who your friends are, your children's friends are. You worry about that and you think, oh, my son, he's getting in with a bad lot there. I'm not comfortable with this. Right, that's why mums and dads ask things like, who are you going with? Right, at what time yeah? Because if you get in with the wrong crowd, that starts to influence the way you become. So, if you want to be successful, spend time with other successful people. If you want to be a bum in life, spend time with other bums, and don't worry, nature will take care of that. Yes? I'll come to you in a second.
How do you find, like, your idea and, like, what you're passionate about? Do they just, like, come to you, or, like...
I think we all know the things. I think we all kind of know the things that we enjoy.
No, I don't. I can do, but I don't.
So what I would probably suggest you do. What's your name?
Ruby.
Ruby. What I'd suggest, Ruby, is that just every now and again, maybe on your phone or something, just have like a little page or something where you just like dump ideas. So let's say you're walking down the street, for example, in Nottingham or whatever. And you see something and you think, oh, that's really cool, I really like that. Okay, just make a note of it. It may not, I'm not saying it's going to become a business, but what it helps you to do is to identify the things that you like, or that you agree with, or maybe the things that you don't like. But generally, most small businesses start out of a passion for things. Yeah? So I think it's first of all about identifying what you're passionate about, what you care about, what you like, what you enjoy. Or it could be that you get an experience where you notice that actually you think, oh, there's an opportunity. I can't believe somebody hasn't thought of that. I'm going to do that. Yeah? So I think it's just thinking about all these different things. And it could be like random. It could be you're watching something on telly. Or it could be that you're walking down the street or wherever you are. Right? And you just think, oh, I really like that. That's really cool. Right? Just make a note of it. And it may not mean anything at the time, but in 6 months' time when you're thinking about it, you might think, oh yeah, I remember that thing I saw there. Okay, actually, I might be able to do something with that. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay? Not everybody knows, and sometimes, a lot of the time, a lot of these things happen by accident.
Yeah.
It happened by accident for me. Like I said to you, it wasn't what I intended to do.
How old were you, like, in the car thing when it happened?
I would have been 24.
Did you have to, like, quit your job then, like, to pursue that? Or did you have to, like, invest
I was
in it?
looking to leave the job I was in.
Yeah.
So, I was still in that job, and then I quit that job soon after. That's when I was working in London at the International Tennis Federation. And that job, that project I was involved with was kind of coming to an end anyway. So it was a good time. Yeah. Yes?
How did you have like your initial amount of like money to start your business?
Right. So
Great question.
actually, in hindsight, I think this is where we made a mistake. Right. We used to be proud of the fact that we never had, until COVID, we never had any debt. We never borrowed any money for anything. In hindsight, actually, we might have been better off if we'd actually borrowed some money from a bank or from an investor or something to be able to drive us to be able to do more things more quickly. Yeah. We've always grown organically. So the simple answer is we didn't have any money. We just grew things bit by bit. And then we took on one club and we'd make a bit of money out of that. And then we'd use, like I said earlier, what's the value of profit is to be able to reinvest it. So we went quite a long time where we were earning rubbish money because we were investing and reinvesting so much of what we were doing. And we were spending a lot of time in the business because then it doesn't cost me anything because I'm not having to pay somebody. But the problem is you're not growing the business. Yeah. So borrowing money at the beginning sometimes allows you to have that leg up to get things going. And in hindsight, I think maybe we could have saved ourselves some time and perhaps grown into different things if we borrowed some money. So it's a good question. When I look back on it, maybe that's a mistake we made. Yeah.
Is that because you were just like that passionate about doing it? You were doing it for the money. Like at first, you were just trying to build a tennis.
Yeah, it was. If I'm honest, it's because we almost weren't thinking of it as a business. We were really just enjoying what we were doing, and we didn't almost think about the profit in it. We were just doing it so we would go on and do our bits of coaching and then do this and do that, and it almost didn't feel like work. And I think if we'd been a bit more focused on actually profit and making it feel more like a business early on, we could have probably grown things more quickly. So it probably is a bit of that actually. Yeah, we made a lot of mistakes when we were starting. I mean, we look back now, I think I can't believe how stupid we were with some of the things we did, but we learnt from it. You're going to make mistakes. The question is not if you're making mistakes, it's whether you learn from those mistakes, isn't it? Okay. Anything else? Matt, anything more that you want to say or?
Oh well, Mark.
Throw in or?
These guys might not know, but two of Mark's coaches have both coached my daughter. So Adam Wolf was my daughter's coach for about 5 years. Claire Taylor for a number of years. When she was head of was it Warwickshire? She was head of Warwickshire, wasn't she?
She was involved in Warwickshire tennis.
That's it. Yeah.
She's from Oxfordshire.
But she used to do the coaching at not David Lloyd, Virgin Coventry, didn't she? That's it.
She was heavily involved.
The squads. That's it. I forgot all these words. Yeah, squads. But yeah. So a little bit of background as to how I know Mark. Mark has been obviously a business inspiration for me for a long time. But so my daughter was born 2005 and started playing tennis when she was 3. Yeah. Oh, 3. I was Richard Williams. I was. So if he goes and speaks to some of his coaches, he'd be like, Matt Rodney was at the side of the court and he'd be there going, hit the board. And I was a bad dad, to be fair, in that time of thing. But you learn so much. Yeah, well, no, I'm not a bad dad, but you know what I mean, involved. But it's what you say. So what you were saying was so good. It's all about the people you meet, and the people take those opportunities. That opportunity you had in the car. So it's funny how it's the same year, and I've taught these. Was the same time I got in a lift with a guy. These that all know the story. I'm not going to go into it again. Yeah, but it's similar time, and it leads to a level of success. And I just think to take what from Mark today, you've got to take your opportunities, isn't it? Take your opportunities and bank it. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you say you're going to call someone, call them. If you say you're going to meet them, go and meet them. I think what you've said today, Mark, I think it's been brilliant.
Thank you. Take your opportunities, but I think sometimes you've also got to make opportunities happen. So, like I said, if you're into marketing or whatever, right, and you're thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do summer holidays, right? Get in touch with the local agency and say, look, I want to learn. Can I come and spend a week with you? Right? Okay, that's what I did when I wanted to see coaches at work. That's what I did. I went to go and find the best coaches I could. I spent a week with Ian Barkley, Now, Ian Barkley will not be somebody you know, but there was an Australian guy called Pat Cash who won Wimbledon. Ian was his coach, and Ian was working in the UK for the LTA. And I spent a week with Ian, and I wanted to spend time with good people to find out what this stuff was really about. So throw yourself in at the deep end. You're right, take opportunities when they come, but sometimes you also have to make those opportunities. Sometimes you have to go out to make a good impression by saying, look, I'm here, can I come and spend a bit of time with you to learn? And then if you conduct yourself in a good way, then they notice that, and they'll things might come from it.
You know how you have to go to places, yeah? Do they pay for your flights, the hotel, the food, and then do they pay you to train them as well? Is it I don't know what the word is, but do they
what? Oh, outside the UK, you mean?
Yeah, so they fly you out, and then do you get accommodation for free? Or not free?
Expenses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Would
my
have thought
job.
so.
I mean, sometimes yes, sometimes we pay for it. But if we pay for it, then ultimately they're paying for it because I'm charging it back to them. But yeah.
Oh, so they reach out to you and be like.
Yeah, they'll say to me, for
price.
example. So in a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to Nigeria, for example.
Yeah.
So I was at a conference in the States a month ago in Florida, right, where I was presenting, and I met a guy from Nigeria who's based in Chicago, and he said, I really liked your stuff. I've seen a bit of your stuff before, but it's the first time I've met you and the first time I've seen you present. I really like it. Is there any chance you could come and speak at a conference for us in a city called Abuja, which is it's the capital of Nigeria? And I said, well, yeah, send me the details. Then, I test people. I do that a lot, right? I throw it back to them. Send me the details. What that does is me testing them out. Right? Now, quite often when I say, yeah, send me the details, give me a call, I never hear from them again. Right? I don't want to get involved with people like that because I'm all about doing what you say you're going to do. So I call me sneaky, but I like to test people out, test how genuine they are. Anyway, by the time I got back from Florida, there was already a message on my phone from him. Right? So I knew this guy was keen and serious. So then we sort of started discussing it. He said, how much do you charge? So I told him, and he said, what else are we going to have to pay for? And I said, well, you're going to have to pay for me to get there because I'm not walking, right? And then I need X, Y, and Z accommodation. And he said, right, okay. And I said, you're going to have to pay for my visa. You're going to have to,
Should have said need to pay for it, my assistant as well. You know what I mean? Photographer.
Is it just you that goes? Is it just you that goes?
Quite often it's just me. Sometimes it will be one of my colleagues as well, but usually it's just me.
Does the guy that owns it as well? Does he get
Rich.
The same amount of people wanting him to go and talk, or is it mainly?
Yeah, less so. He does travel. He's in China at the moment. He's having a bit of holiday, but the reason he's going on holiday there is because he's been invited to do some workshops there in Beijing and in Shanghai. So since he's going all that way, he sort of said, well, since I'm going over there, I'm going to have 10 days holiday before I go. So he's getting
Go see the Great Wall.
I need a job like this.
There you go. See, you got passion now.
See,
well, I'm not good at tennis, though.
No, it doesn't matter. No, you're thinking the wrong way, right? So you asked me earlier. How do I find out what I'm passionate about? So if you're saying that you want to travel the world
and get paid and help people, that's so cool.
Right, we'll find a way of doing it.
Maybe that this is my spark moment, guys.
Yeah.
In
Oh
10 years.
yes, yes.
Maybe this is a light bulb.
You can change your business now.
Yeah.
Do you know the thing? Do you know the thing that in the end, to me, when I eventually sort of pack this up and I look back on it, the thing that makes me really proud of what I do is nothing to do with money at all, right? It's the fact that if I'm a coach, I can work with one player, but if I'm training coaches, then I can help them work with loads of players. So, we reckon between us, Rich and I have trained or worked with about 10,000 coaches in the UK, right? Now, if you multiply that by the number of kids that those coaches are working with, that's a lot of people. And more than anything, and none of them are going to be, most of them are not going to be great tennis players. That doesn't matter. It's the fact that they've got involved in a healthy lifestyle, or they're doing something that they love, or they enjoy, or whatever, right? And to me, that's the thing that I'm proud of. So find the things that are going to make you proud. Find the things that you care about, and the things that you're passionate about. And you may not know what those things are, but bit by bit, you know, like you just said, Ruby, oh, maybe that's what I should be doing. Well, if that's what you think, put that as the first thing on your little list. I want to travel around the world and get paid for it, and find a way of doing it.
Yeah.
Well done, Ruth. Good question.
I know. Gonna become an entrepreneur.
There you go. There you go.
Okay? We done?
Nice one. Give Mark a round of applause.